Aloha and good morning. I'm very honored and humbled to welcome you to this year's annual memorial service, a service to honor those donors who have graciously given their bodies after death to benefit others. It's not just our medical students who benefit from these bequests, but the many branches of medicine, surgery, and allied health care who ultimately benefit. The bond between a student and their silent teacher is stronger than most people realize. I have the opportunity to talk to many people who are interested in the Willed Body program and our anatomy lab, and sometimes that person is a doctor. Having worked in body donation for 25 years, I love to hear stories of when they were in school. In sharing these stories with me, they might not remember the names of all the students they went to school with, or the names of all their professors, but without exception, they all remember their silent teacher. On the first day of anatomy here at JABSM, we introduced the students to their silent teachers. We let them know the first name of their donor, what they did for a living while they were alive, their age, and any medical history that the donor shared with us while they enrolled in the program. I would like to think that this is one of the many reasons why our students have a high level of respect and pono while in the lab. The memorial service was pre-recorded over the last few weeks and crafted together with the help of our medical students, faculty, staff, and others from the community. We would not be able to share this service with you without the creativity, efforts, and pono of all involved. Mahalo.
Aloha pumehana kako. My name is Avapuhi Lee.
And my name is Eduardo Biala Jr.
And it is our pleasure and honor to welcome you to the 2022 University of Hawaii Willed Body Memorial Service. With our deepest gratitude, we are honored and humbled to recognize the men and women who donated their bodies for the purpose of medical education and scientific advancement.
No amount of words could accurately describe the significance of our silent teacher's donation. I can assure you that the light, hope, and incredible influences that your loved ones had on you all was brought upon us as well. Though silent, they spoke volumes, taught plenty, and influenced us all tremendously, leaving a lasting impact on us all.
Our silent teachers gave us the gift of knowledge that is palpable. They helped provide the foundational expertise we all need to successfully begin our careers. And we are truly blessed to have the depth of knowledge we now possess of the human body because of them.
In the short span of 7 months, our silent teachers became a pivotal part of our education, as they were our first patients. They deserve just as much credit for every life that we impact in our careers, because without their belief and dedication in our education and future, it would not have been possible. They taught us the power of emotion and gave us an understanding of how to connect with someone we barely knew. We undoubtedly gained more wisdom from them than any of us ever thought possible. We hope to carry on this legacy of courage, empathy, and compassion as future physicians.
On behalf of the JABSM Ohana, we would like to thank you for joining us this celebration of life as we commemorate each of our silent teachers and their altruistic gift. To our silent teachers, their loved ones, family, and friends, mahalo again for playing such an integral role in our medical education. Now, to begin our service, please join us in prayer led by our chaplain.
Epule kako. Holy Mystery, Creator, thank you for all who gather here to honor their teachers and their loved ones. May your presence fill this honoring, this time at sea, this goodbye, and this coming home. Amene.
Aloha, I'm Riley Parks, a first-year medical student. Our bodies are our most sacred possessions. Your body is the only thing you truly cannot live without. Our body is our identity, an extension of our wants and wishes. Our body is everything. So to give one's body to students such as myself is one of the most generous and impactful gifts one can give. The process of learning medicine has changed dramatically since the conception of the first medical school, but one thing has remained constant. To delve into the magic and the complexities of the human body, you need a guide, a teacher. The loved ones you have willed to us are those teachers. Communion with my silent teacher has taught me more than any book, app, or even professor. The lessons we learn from our silent teachers are invaluable in our work now and as future physicians. To heal, we need knowledge, and our silent teachers give us that knowledge. Every physician who lays hands on the sick to heal, to inform, to guide a patient through a difficult time, they do so with the knowledge that your loved ones have bestowed. I came to medical school to make a difference here in Hawaii as a healer. Making a difference can be hard though. Change comes, but it comes slowly. For that reason, what amazes me about our silent teachers is that all of them have made a monumental difference with a single act at their passing of all times. In a time of loss, love, and memory, they have done so much good. Their choice to come to us will prop up an entire generation of future physicians. I've been given a precious gift, a gift that I will carry on in my practice and hopefully be able to pass on to future medical students. To do what your loved ones have done will be one of the greatest honors. So for the role of your loved ones and yourselves in our education, I thank you. Thank you so much for your generosity and your commitment to Hawaii's health and future.
Aloha everyone, my name is Colin Liang and I'm a second-year medical student here at the John and Burns School of Medicine. It is my honor and privilege to be able to speak to all of you as the main representative of the class of 2024. It is with great regret that once again, because of COVID, we are unable to be with all of you in person today. The medical students and graduate students are so blessed to have the Wood Body program so that we may learn through touch. The generous donors who come from our own communities provided their own anatomy for us to learn from. For that, I will always be thankful. Though each silent teacher teaches a group of students, those students will go on to see thousands and thousands of patients. So not only are our silent teachers helping future doctors, our silent teachers are truly helping many, many patients. The gift that they provided us go beyond the basic sciences of anatomy. In addition to teaching us the wonders of the human anatomy, or the human body, I should say, they taught us compassion. The relationship between a medical student and a silent teacher is truly, truly special. When we are first introduced to them, we learn about their past, their former occupations, and more. In fact, we are taught to refer to them on a first-name basis. This truly creates a humbling experience because we realize quite quickly that these are real human beings. As I look forward to my future in the hospitals and clinics, I'm thankful thinking about my silent teachers. It is through the knowledge that they bestowed onto me that I feel comfortable treating patients. As my preclinical years come to an end, it is rather bittersweet because I love anatomy and I love stepping into the anatomy lab. I'm happy to know that my silent teachers and all future silent teachers for all the students will be immortalized in our memories forever as we treat our patients. I cannot be more grateful to be speaking on behalf of the class of 2024. From all of us to all of our silent teachers and their ohana, we just want to say thank you. We are so appreciative of the opportunities to learn from the gift that was provided by members of our own communities. We hope to make you all proud and to one day maybe be the ones taking care of you and your loved ones. With that, I want to say thank you, mahalo nui loa, and take care. Aloha.
No. Aloha, my name is Anita Xiong and I'm a student of the Imi Ho'ola program at the John A. Burns School of Medicine. On behalf of my cohort, I would like to thank you, the friends and families of the donors, for sharing your loved ones with us. We want to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for the invaluable opportunity to learn anatomy through the bodies of your loved ones. While leaving our world, your loved ones had given us students the greatest gift anyone could give, the opportunity to learn from their bodies. The body is one of the most valuable and prized possessions. It enables us to move through life and experience all it has to offer. Yet while I learned about all the amazing things that our bodies do for us, I did not fully appreciate the intricacies and complexness of our bodies until anatomy. For many of my classmates, this was our first anatomy experience and our first opportunity to learn from a silent teacher. Thanks to the selflessness and generosity of you and your loved ones, we have been given the irreplaceable opportunity to learn hands-on the intricacies of the human body, which supports us every day physically and mentally. The opportunity to glimpse inside the human body has truly been a humbling experience. On the first day of anatomy lab, our instructors told us to take a moment and reflect on our silent teachers. They have told us always to remember that the individual had dreams and aspirations, thoughts and emotions, and have friends and family who love them just like all of us. I have always kept this perspective in my mind when I worked with our silent teachers. As my classmates and I continued to learn from our silent teachers, they undoubtedly became an integral part of our lives. If I had a chance to meet my silent teacher, I would love to hear what they have to share about their life experiences. I would tell them that I am eternally grateful for the knowledge that they have given me about the human body, and I would have expressed my gratitude for teaching me more about the body than any professor or textbook could have taught me. I would let them know that because of their ultimate gift, my classmates and I will help countless patients in the future. I consider it my great privilege to have been able to learn from them, and I wholeheartedly thank my silent teachers who, even at the last moments of their lives, did not think about themselves but thought about what more they could do for the world. Their generosity and selflessness have enriched the lives of so many. To the family and friends of our silent teachers, I am genuinely sorry for your loss. You were very fortunate to have such outstanding and selfless people in your lives. And while our silent teachers have departed our material world, they will continue to live in our hearts, and they will always be in our thoughts and prayers. Their legacy and commitment to the betterment of medical education will continue to live on with us. Thank you for considering us worthy enough to entrust us with the bodies of your loved ones, and we are eternally grateful for the privilege and opportunity to learn from them. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. It's an honor to be with you here today. My name is Dr. Thomas No, and I'm a neurosurgeon and a clinical assistant professor here at the John A. Burns School of Medicine. This ceremony is incredibly special, and I struggle to find the right words to express how impactful each and every one of these special teachers are to us. I'd first like to introduce the term special teacher, because that's what each and every person here is in the World Body program. Each and every one of our special teachers here contributes to improving healthcare outcomes through the development of student education and discovering new and enabling technology. I'm here today to talk to you today, not as a professor, but as a local boy who grew up here in Hawaii, went to JABSOM, and had the privilege of learning and advancing medicine with the help of these special teachers. A lot of us over these past couple years have been shaken by a pandemic that has devastated continents and disrupted our daily lives. Yet despite this, the World Body ceremony has somehow become bigger and better than I could have ever imagined. When I was a medical student, we had a small ceremony and maybe 100 people. And somehow, in the face of COVID, we are still coming together in greater numbers over Zoom. This is a testament to the spirit of aloha that is the foundation of this entire event. My first teacher's name was Martha, and I will never forget her. Today, I hope to give you a glimpse into how her selflessness and others like her continue to change lives every day. I felt one of her lessons most profoundly early in the pandemic when another surgeon had a complicated patient who had been deferring her medical care because of COVID. By the time that she had presented, she had had advanced cancer that had spread to the spine and nearly destroyed her entire lumbar spine. The surgeon had run into some bleeding in an area that I had only ever seen once before in an anatomy lab. And when I looked into the wound, there was blood gushing from everywhere. Liter after liter of blood poured out in minutes, and the patient became rapidly hypotensive. And then, almost like a flashback, I suddenly remembered back to my special teacher, Martha. One day during my dissection, she had showed me something I had never seen in a book before, the segmental arteries. These are variable arteries that live around the spine and sometimes come directly off the aorta. This explained the velocity of the bleeding, and I quickly pushed a sponge into the area where I estimated the artery to be. The bleeding stopped. The other surgeon had time to stabilize the patient, identify and control the bleeding, and complete the operation successfully. Even beyond our OR, our special teachers have helped us push the boundaries of medicine. When I first returned to Honolulu, I saw the incredible transition that Dr. Lozanoff and Dr. Matsui had made in going virtual with our special teachers. This inspired me to base my laboratory in the anatomy lab, and we are currently developing an augmented reality platform that will help us visualize in real time the anatomy of the brain and the spine in the operating room. Even through the pandemic, our special teachers are helping us develop groundbreaking technology that will enable us to do better surgery and improve outcomes for patients. Taking this one step further into 3D printing, one of our most recent projects involves printing skin models for JABSIM students to learn suturing techniques and then studying the way that they learn. This will give us more insight into how best to effectively train students in adopting this crucial medical skill. Through our special teachers, I've learned many lessons in innovation. During my days off, I will spend some extra time in the lab, and one day discovered that the vertebral joints could be fused together if a hole was drilled precisely in the right angle. This led to the development of a brand new technique for fusions in the spine without using metal. I then carried this knowledge back into the operating room, where we completed our first successful case just last month at Polimomi in a patient who could not have a traditional metal fusion and had no other options. In another example, our special teachers have allowed me to develop and refine the use of an arthroscope in the spine, which recently led to the first inpatient endoscopic spine procedure to be performed here in Hawaii. Medicine isn't perfect, but I have traveled across the country and seen hospitals and people in so many other states during the pandemic. And I can tell you that Hawaii is a place where aloha lives strong. Our special teachers here in Hawaii and this entire program is truly, truly unique. There is no other medical school in the country that I know of that has a program just like this. When I have medical students in my operating room and someone blurts out, "Oh, I remember that from anatomy lab," I think fondly back to my lab days, about Martha, and how fundamental that experience was in my medical training. Our special teachers help to advance medicine and make new discoveries, but most importantly, they teach our next generation in a way that no one else ever could.
Aloha, my name is Dr. Jill Omori, and I'm the Director of the Office of Medical Education here at the John A. Burns School of Medicine, but I'm also a proud alumnus as well. I have to say that the Willed Body Ceremony is one of the special gems that we have here at JABSIM, and we are so fortunate to have such supportive and thoughtful individuals in both our community that decide to become our silent teachers, and here at JABSIM, who do such a wonderful job in taking care of them and honoring them. As a student here at JABSIM, I was lucky to be able to learn from our silent teachers, and knowing the tremendous gift that they bestowed upon the medical school and the students made us connect with them more and made learning from them very special. I always wondered what would make someone want to donate their bodies for us to learn from. It seemed so intrusive, and I didn't think that most people would want to make that kind of sacrifice. When I first started my anatomy labs, I didn't want to know about the person that I was learning from. I guess I felt that if I knew about them, that I would not be able to do what I needed to do. But I was so grateful when we did get to learn more about our silent teachers at our willed body ceremony. Seeing their pictures in life for the first time and learning a little more about them was incredibly special and made me even more appreciative that they would choose one more job for themselves to become our teachers even after death. I remember the care that was taken to honor their memories, and I felt extremely humbled to be a part of it all. As a faculty member, I can attest to the tremendous learning opportunity that our students get from the silent teachers. Not only are the students learning in the traditional anatomy lab, but our Department of Anatomy is doing groundbreaking work with virtual and augmented reality to further enhance the educational experience for our students and others as well. All of that would not be possible without our thoughtful donors. Having watched our students and numerous willed body ceremonies over the years, I can assure the families that their loved ones are treated with the utmost reverence. While I am sure that many medical schools that have willed body programs honor their donors as well, I'm pretty sure that our Jabsum ceremony is particularly special and that the culture of Hawaii and the essence of aloha flow through all of it. This year's ceremony is extra meaningful for me as my father, who passed away in 2020, is one of the silent teachers being celebrated. He and my mother were both so moved by the willed body ceremony they attended for my auntie a number of years ago that they decided they wanted to become donors as well. It meant a lot for my father to be a part of this program, and I know that he would have been very happy to know that he was contributing to the education of future physicians. The program staff were so kind, helpful, and compassionate. I knew that my father would be well taken care of. My parents always instilled in me the importance of education and also in being a contributing member of society, which is a big part of why I went into medicine in the first place and why I became a teacher. So my father being a part of the willed body program seems very fitting, and I'm comforted in knowing that he and I were both teachers for Jabsum.
My mother's mother, my grandma, was a craftsperson. Before she died, she decided to give her body for teaching at the nearest university, which was the University of Toledo in Ohio. Craftsman was how she identified her job for her obituary. In a very respectful tour of this wonderful willed body program at UH, I learned that the jobs we do, or how we spend the majority of our time moving and working in the world, leave marks on our bodies and on our bones. Learning this, seeing how professions shape and mark our bodies, gave new meaning to me about why our bones are considered sacred to many cultural traditions. They carry story, or at least they hint at the stories and life that once covered and enfleshed them. I imagine you students have seen the hints and marks of these stories, perhaps even imagined the life around them, as you have spent many hours carefully studying with and learning from these silent teachers. How did this teacher get this broken bone? What work did they do that made their heart work and where in this way? What work ran through their brains? What kind of work air filtered through their lungs? I do not know who the student was that learned from my grandmother's body, but I wonder now what of her work showed on her body. My grandmother was a gardener. She also spun wool, quilted, and knitted. And I wonder if any of this work showed in worn knee joints or worn wrists or certain scars. I imagine what was not known from the students was how my grandma kneeled to garden, which was, as I remember it, quickly and impatiently, always ready to move to the next task at hand, cutting herbs for drying, suckering tomatoes, deadheading flowers. My grandma was a master of tasks. But even so, amidst the many chores on a small farm, she also spent time playing card games with my sister and I, always cheerfully competitive. She taught us how to use a drop spindle, and she gave us time as children to run through her rows of raspberry bushes, picking and eating some, though not all. We were always told to leave some for jams and pies, of juicy raspberries. Worn knees and wrists may have hinted at the gardening or craftswork that was part of my grandma's life. But the scars and marks left in her bone and body were only hints. They hinted at a life lived as a homemaker, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a spouse and a lover, as a gardener and a spinner of wool. The fullness of these identities can never be seen only in body and blood, in sinew and synapse, though these were part of what made my grandma who she was. The story of her life is also only ever partly filled by those of us still alive to share our memories. There is so much life, so much story, so much memory behind the bone, the body, the teaching that continues still in so many ways. Our lives are lived in our bodies, and yet our life is more than this. The people around us hold our stories, and yet our life is more than the stories held. We know each other, it seems, only ever in bits and pieces. By sharing stories with each other, perhaps we know a little more. Today we come together to share the stories with each other, to honor and recognize these lives, these stories, scars and marks, broken bones, remembered smiles or jokes, favorite songs or dances or TV shows or books, time spent playing cards, a favorite vacation spot, and even wounds and hurts and aches for forgiveness or apology. These too, I imagine, are part of the stories here. The stories of these lives are more than the bodies here, and yet the bodies are a part of them. They are more than the people here, and yet we are a part of them. They are more than the ocean into which they will rest and dissolve, ever expansively, spreading over this sacred earth. And yet we continue to learn from them. In so many ways, these selves and stories reach out over wave and wonder and return to teach us again and again, always revealing some of the mystery from which they've come. I continue to learn from what my grandmother taught me, both what I want to keep from her teaching and what I want to do differently. And as she taught me, so she taught a student at the University of Toledo. So thank you, silent teachers. We honor the stories that we know of you, those parts of your stories and journeys that we may never know or only partly know, and those stories of which there are only the smallest hints, marks on the bodies that carried you through. Thank you for teaching us along the way.
Following the memorial service will be a video of the canoe scattering service for those donors who chose that option. The scattering service took place 3 weeks ago and was recorded for your viewing pleasure. In closing, I would like to acknowledge that the pandemic has caused many difficulties for the Willed Body program, our donors, and their families. This required us to make some difficult choices that had negative impacts on everybody. Starting in the fall of 2020, we had to stop accepting body donors into the program. When the program was reopened in the spring of 21, we were forced to make the difficult choice to only accept those donors who were already enrolled into the program. That is still our policy at the time of this recording. I feel more optimistic today than any time during the last 2 years that we will once again be able to accept new donors in the near future. We would like to thank our families, donors, and community for your support and understanding during this difficult time. We would also like to give special appreciation and acknowledgement for those who were enrolled in our program, but due to the closure were not able to teach as they had intended. We're sorry. We have an incredible team at the Willed Body program, and I would like to acknowledge our Ohana. Mari Kuriyamatan, our program administrator. Stacy Lenz, our assistant director. Leela Brash, our assistant. And Dr. Takashi Matsui, our department chair. On behalf of the University of Hawaii, the John A. Burns School of Medicine, and the staff of the Willed Body program, mahalo.